Coming from the farthest reaches of the universe to challenge the worst villains on Earth are the most powerful heroes ever in the Battle of the Superpowers Collection.
What's this? The Batman who laughs has taken over the Hall of Justice? Who can stop this evil menace?
It's Batman in the Batwing!
Don't worry, Batman. Batman and the Whirly Bat is coming.
What just happened?
Don't worry, here comes Batman and the Batmobile.
Oh,
Which Batman will save the day? You decide. Batman, and Batman Who Laughs come with everything you see here. Batmobile, Batwing, and Whirly Bat each sold separately. The Superpowers Collection from McFarlane Toys.
You're watching USA, America's favorite cable network.
Good evening, everyone. It is I, Bill, here on Up All Night. And yes, Jonezer, Batman for the win, my friend. Who do we have with us tonight? Let me look up here and see. George Valentine came in for a minute, but he had to go, but he wanted to say hello. Good to see you, Mr. George. Thank you for coming in. Eternian Ellipse, Sir Clifton in. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to you, sir. Radical Mom here. Good to see you. All Music Fan 88 says evening all. Good to see you there, sir. And I think that catches up everybody that's been chatting. And Radical Mom says, oh, yes, I'll be missing you on Sir Clifton soon, I hope. Well, he's got some issues going on over there we're going to try to resolve. I don't think we're going to have an Eternian Ellipse show this Sunday. But Sunday week from now, I think we will be having something going on over there. So we'll just have to wait on that one. But for right now, let's get Jonezer in here and let's get this show started.
What's up, everybody? It's Jonezer, your favorite comic book guy. So let's do this!
And hey there. I don't see Jonezer on my screen. What's going on here? There he is.
I guess I had to flash my little avatar deal to come back. I don't know.
It's a video ninja thing, I guess. I don't have no idea. I know Nightwing. Hey man, what's going on? Nightwing says, "Hey, gold, Bill." That's not my video, by the way. That is someone else's video, but I just had to show it because I thought it was funny as hell. I think I probably ought to show the link to that in the chat here. So I'm going to run over here to the YouTubes and get the link to that video. And I want everybody to go over and like this video and all that kind of good stuff, and let this guy know that he made a quality product here. And it's going to take me a second to get this to come up, and I got a lot going on here, so Jonezer's over there.
I'm waving to the chat. I see Jennifer Poe and Eldor in there, and just saying hello.
Yeah, there they are. Good evening there, Jonezer, Bill, and my good sirs. Good evening to you too. There, Eldor and Miss Jennifer. Good to see you too. Matter of fact, I think we had just been talking to Cliffy and Miss Jennifer earlier tonight. We had a wonderful visit tonight, so that was good.
Visit is more like three guys trying to talk over each other about toys.
That's kind of what it ends up being, doesn't it?
Yes, sir.
Let's go to the history here.
I do have.
And, if you get tired of us, they're talking Revolution over there on Ozzy's channel, and I think Reploid Bill is doing a little window shopping tonight. So
Absolutely.
there's something.
Check our friends out. You know, check out the Bill likes to do that window shopping on the Big Bad Toy Store.
Mm-hmm.
It's always a good thing to see.
Yep. Let me go back over here. It's not showing up in my history like I thought it would.
Look at expensive statues.
Yeah, Reploid Bill will do the overpriced statues, which I'm glad that he's doing that now. Because Grindhead Jim refuses to do the overpriced statues. So there is a place to go for overpriced statues now, which is a good thing for people like Bjorn Jorgensen.
Yes.
Who's probably over there now. I don't mind you going over to someone else's channel instead of coming over here. I just, I'm just going to do what I do over here, and I don't give a damn.
Well, see, he don't mind, but I do mind. You should just watch us because I got issues and we're better.
We got issues, man.
I do got issues. I got all kinds of issues. They're hanging all over the joint. Never-ending issues.
Speaking of issues, have you had a chance to see the new He-Man TV show yet?
I have not. I have not watched it yet. But everybody spoiled it for me because every single person and their mother on YouTube that has watched it can't shut up about it, and they're talking about everything. Oh, spoiler alert! Anyway, the whole thing ended with RoboCop shooting Skeletor and him turning into a cyborg or whatever the heck it was. So now I haven't watched it yet. I'm currently watching Revelation. That's the first 2 5-parters. I'm watching that back. I think it's to be the 3rd time I've actually watched that through. And the first time I watched it by myself, hated it. Second time I watched it with Lyric, thought it was okay. And I'll be honest with you, the 3rd time I liked it a little better. So maybe it's one of those things where like wears you down. Because at first I couldn't stand it.
Oh, Susudio's here. Hey, Susudio, good to see you. I'm going to go through some of this chat. Some of it is going to be available to me to throw on the screen, and some of it not because of issues, because of thing. But hey,
the Bill's got issues too.
Very much so. I've got several issues. I have a whole box full of issues down here right now. Happy birthday, Jennifer. Happy birthday to you. Happy. We can't sing too much of that because it's copyrighted, right?
What?
Yeah,
you can't copyright happy birthday.
It is copyrighted.
That's some bull crap. That's like Americana saying happy birthday and then everybody buy them some crap and we blow out some sugar pie and
I'm just telling you. I mean, I don't make the rule. I'm just telling you.
They can't do the what's it, the Scooby-Doo on Channel 2, and is that copyrighted too?
Yeah, it is. Everything's fucking copyrighted now. Jennifer, 29 years old is not old at all.
A baby.
So don't feel old. And the Briscoe 1234 and Jonezer and everyone, hello. And let me see if
studio.
Member for 7 months. Oh wow. I wish I could throw that one up on the screen, but I can't. Oh crap. Let me go ahead and refresh this, and maybe some of that chat will show back up over here. But thank you, Susudio, for being a member for 7 months of this channel. If you want to become a member of this channel, you certainly can by hitting that join button. If you don't see the join button, then go over to my About page, and you should be able to see a way to join there. If you don't, then I will fix the description in this so that you can later. But I want to shout out Nightwing, who is a member of the Fantastic Ones, which is meaning that he is really helping out over here. I appreciate that. And Briscoe1234 says, "You say it's your birthday. It's my birthday too."
That's definitely copyrighted.
It may be, but I think if we sing it, we can get away with it because the bot that catches the copyrights can't tell that we're.
You can't tell by our terrible singing that it's us doing it. That we're geniusly defeating the computer program by our terribleness.
Yeah, the radical mom says, "You're only a baby, Jennifer. Happy birthday."
Absolutely.
And if you notice, I'm moving a little slow tonight because I am actually sharing the video feed that you're seeing here so that Jonezer can actually see what's going on over here. I may have to kill that Jonezer.
Well, yeah, I don't need to see just our two bubbles.
No, that's not necessary. So
I'm just getting 4 bubbles.
I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to kill that. And boom. And that may make things work a little better.
There we go.
Yeah, little better. I'm trying out different ways of doing this through Video Ninja without killing my processor. I'll end up burning this thing up. I'm going to end up having to buy one of those fan things that your laptop sits on that keeps it cooler than just sitting on the table with the fan running all the time. Yeah, Nightwing.
I have no idea.
Buddy. Yeah, buddy, Nightwing. Yeah, man. And we got Jennifer Poe thanking Mary. And Sucio says, "Did you see the message in the announcement?"
That the one about her being a member for 7 months?
I am a wonderful weirdo for 7 months. Yeah, I can't show that on the screen because the featured chat plug-in didn't pick that one up. Sorry about that. Issues. Issues. Like on his shirt, we got issues.
They're all over.
Yeah, pretty much. So you didn't see the Revolution. You're rewatching Revelation.
Yeah, I think I'm like maybe 3 or 4 episodes to the end of that. And I remember how it ends. I was just trying to set the table for the next one. I remember it ends with Skeletor being pushed into the thing and turning into Robo Skeletor. And then Tila's the new sorceress and Evelyn walks off in the sunset. And Orko went from Gandalf the Gray to Gandalf the White. Or wait, it's Orko the Red and then Orko the White or whatever. Original idea. And that's how I remember it ending. And I'm sure the next part's just going to be Robo Skeletor and the invasion.
Yeah.
Am I on the money there?
I think you pretty much covered most of the bases. I think you did. I had issues with that show, and most of my issues were with characterization.
Mine was a fundamental one. I just wanted to see them look like my action figures. And they look like my play sets. And it's like I wanted it. It didn't look like Masters of the Universe to me. Like to me, I wanted it to look like the toys. And they showed that they started that way. You notice very subtly. And then that was the magic of it. And the very first thing you see is the toy art. And then they go into where everybody looks the way you remember them. And then after episode 2, they're all going to get twisted into how you don't remember them.
Yeah. There were a couple of issues that I had with that. One of them was the characterization of the characters. I felt like King Randor banishing Man-at-Arms over the fact that Man-at-Arms knew that He-Man and Adam were one and the same. I thought that was not right, and I have heard. The tried and true. Well, he told a lie. He kept the spirit. Well, the problem is any monarch knows that secrets must be kept. and that's how that works. Hey, OBS, good to see you, hon. She says, "Hey,
And
guys."
see, that to me was one of the more forgivable sins of the thing. And I think the reason for that why is because if you look at it through the eyes of Randor, saw this as a deep betrayal, more so than even Tila's affection for that secret later. But Randor and Man at Arms go back as lads. I want to say is Duncan and Captain Randor in the army or whatever, depending on what source of the lore you read. So, and I know in one of the DC Comics runs, they showed Randor and Duncan when they were just Eternian soldiers in the army together under King Miro. And so if that's your battle buddy and he did you like that with your own kid, I don't know. Maybe he didn't react harshly enough. You know?
The other problem that I had with that was not necessarily the show's fault. It was the fault of the showrunner who run around telling stories that weren't true.
Yeah,
and,
I mean,
and look, he took my expectations in a different direction than what he intended the show to go in. Let's put it that way.
right. Well, it was the old bait and switch. I mean, I think that we can say that safely. I don't think anyone's saying it isn't. But here's the thing: like, what do you want the guy to do? So the Clownfish TV dude, I'm just going to name drop that guy. He busts out. Everybody knows the story with the information that the show is going to be what the show is going to be, and then Kevin Smith says that he doesn't think that's what the show is going to be, and he argues. And then we come out, and it turns out Clownfish was right. And that's what the show was. But what do you want Kevin to do? Say, oh yeah, this guy got it right, and let's let the spoiler be real. He basically had no position but to say, oh no, that ain't what it is. No. We're doing something else here. I mean, he isn't in a position to agree with him or say, oh, you got me.
Well, he also said, and I think he should have clarified this a little more when he said it, and he did later say that it was a spiritual successor, but that is not what he said in the beginning. He said this is basically going to be what if Filmation had continued, which was a lie.
Well, he was never a fan of that version of the show.
No, he wasn't. But he also said, he was. He said that he was not only a super fan, but he said that he used to run home from school every day so he could watch He-Man on TV when he was 25 years old.
Yeah, but then he also said him and his brother would like hate watch it, and they said this show's for babies, and these guys they don't kill each other with a sword, and
that's what was really going on. Of course,
no BS.
Yeah, Snow Angel Jonezer. I have issues too. All right. So what's the aftermath here? The aftermath is that it snowed here. It snowed me in. I was trapped in my home for 2.5 days straight. I finally got loose. Ended up going to work on Wednesday and working a half a day Wednesday and not getting a freaking day off until the end of today. So I was almost had to work tomorrow too, but they scaled that back and said I didn't have to go in. So good on that. But let me come back and touch on something here that Attorney and Lip said, and then I'm going to continue telling my story about me and my issues. He's talking about Revelation here. It was good if they wouldn't do the Smallville annoyance. And that is, let's see what happens when the power is lost in many different ways. Yeah, well, that's all Kevin Smith. How can we make this different somehow? And see, that's the problem. We don't need to make it different. We need to make it what, Joneser? A what? Fighting over a what? Come on.
Oh, yeah. It's about a muscle man riding a little giant tiger fighting a skeleton lizard over a castle. I mean, but the thing that gets me is it's like you can even go back to Steve Ditko and Stan Lee working on Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. Now, Stan wanted to advance Spider-Man and have him graduate high school, right? Well, Steve Ditko argued, no. If we take him out of there, we can't ever put him back again. So he can't go to past high school as You know, then how can we tell stories? That was one of the best things he's a high school kid. If you advance him, you can't move him back. Well, that's kind of where you ended up with this revolution is they advanced the story to the point where I wanted to see classic He-Man stories told with modern animation. And they're acting like, okay, that Filmation stuff, that's all done. Now we're going on to this new look and this new stuff and this new version of the way the characters looked, act, feel, and do whatever. I wasn't looking for that. I was looking for it to look like the toys I played with when I was a kid. And it did that for about 4 seconds and then went on to whatever else it did.
The writers were bored and ready for a break, and they looked to find where they could pick things up. And the only person in the room was the janitor. And the janitor's mind froze, and he said, let him lose his power. Well, the first thing they did was kill him off. Okay, let's see what happens when we kill He-Man off. How do people react to that? Now let's see what happens when he becomes He-Man without the power sword. What happens then? And of course, this is all from Eternity Ellipse here, and I think he's spot on that. And then now let's see what happens if he comes back, and blah 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 blah. And they did all that, which that's fine too, but it didn't resonate with me, and I didn't enjoy it. However, we got Revolution out now. Now a lot of us have seen that. I saw a very good review of that by Gojitron on Instagram. I suggest you look at that if you get a chance. I agree with everything Gojitron said in that. So they got a lot of pushback on what they had. And so they came back and they said, okay, Smith, you need to cover these issues here, which he did. Those issues were covered. They killed him. See, I can't follow you. Used to. Well, they killed him to bring him back. Okay, that's a comic book trope, and they pulled it in this too. And when we all should have known. And as a matter of fact, Kevin did the swerve. I'm gonna kill him again here towards the end to see what you do.
You know what was funny, and I watching it back because I'm rewatching that and watching it back the third time, which I never thought I'd ever watch this again. You catch things more, and I actually felt, even though I knew how the story went and ended, but you're watching it and caring about the characters. When He-Man comes back and then he's instantly killed again, I have to admit that was like, no, they didn't. You know, like you didn't want him to die. You felt it, and it was great to see them turn him into the Incredible Hulk.
Okay. Hold on just a second. All right. Revolution is way better than Revelation, folks. All right. Let me put that into perspective here, Jonezer, and see if you can understand where I'm going with this. A moldy piece of bread is better than a piece of shit, too, right? Way better.
Well, sure. I can't judge the next one because I haven't seen it. All I can say is watching the first thing of it 3 times, it got better every time I saw it. So,
well, OBS, it's a trope, okay? When we finally get to the point where we can't tell stories anymore, we got to kill the character off and see what happens then. And then once we kill the character off, we're like, okay, well, we can't continue the story if the main character's dead. We got to bring him back somehow. So it all kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth at that point.
Well, and some of that too, like you remember when you were a kid and you're watching Batman and they got like Batman on a table with a saw blade hanging over his head and a candle burning through the rope, and the Joker runs out of the room and you get the great narrator. Is this the end of Batman? Will the Cape Crusader survive this daring trap? You know, and then you'd have to wait, which was the cliffhanger. You'd have to wait till the next week, the next day to find out what happened to him, however it went. You know, so I think that was his version of doing the cliffhanger ending. You know, and
I'll say this, okay? If you watch Revelation and then you watch Revolution, and Revolution is better, and Revolution fixes a lot of the problems over here, but is that because they wanted to move in that direction, or is that because they were forced to move in that direction? Hey, Blue Sasquatch, good to see you.
I'm just gonna go with I'm hearing people I trust tell me that they're making better He-Man. And in my opinion, they had all the pieces there to make a great He-Man show. In fact, the first 20 minutes of that show was pretty spot on. You know what I mean? Especially that teaser trailer. And it's like I wanted to see that. And I think the quicker they can get back to doing that, the better it'll be.
My question is that after all of this, and of course, I'm trying to stay away from too many spoilers in this because I don't know who's watched it, who's not, who wants to watch it, who cares. I don't know. But I know you haven't.
But everybody's talked about it. I mean, it's not like tell me something in it I don't know.
I'm going to respect the way we're supposed to pull this.
Sure. Well, I'm going to try to watch it tonight after we get off this, but I'll probably fall asleep before I get through the first thing.
It's a quick watch. Believe it or not, I watched it in one afternoon between the hours of 5 and 8. And
and I was a big Horde fan. I heard the Horde's well represented here.
They are. They are. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's true.
That is correct.
But
we need
this smacks of fixing. Okay, I don't think that this was exactly the way that they intended to run things, because they went real hard and heavy with the He-Man T-Law romance in this. Really hard.
Okay. Well, honestly, that's how the DC comic run ended, with King Adam kissing Queen Tila, and that's how it ended.
Well, yeah, that's the same here, but there was a pat ending in this as well, and I think that Sir Clifton probably agree with me. I think in a fantasy world, it's okay to have a kingdom with a king.
Oh yeah.
Democracies don't work very well in a fantasy world.
I don't know if we should really dig into fucking make-believe politics. You know what I mean? Like, if we get enough of that crap in real life, then we got to have it in our He-Man too. It's like,
Largo, good to see you, sir. Largo put up something earlier today that really helped me out a lot, and I want to thank you, Largo, once again. You put these up, it seems like at just the right time. I've been in a bad place, folks, and I'm willing to admit it right here on the air. I've been in a really, really bad place. The trapping in my house with my car not being able to start was the beginning. Separation from my wife for more than a week exasperated matters. And then towards the end of last week, there was an issue that happened that really bothered me a lot. And I've been chewing on that by myself all week long at work, and my mind hadn't been right. And then I came home from work today, and the first thing that popped up in my feed, Largo, was the video that you posted. Don't call it a comeback once again, with some music in it and all those things that I need to do to put myself in the right place. So I want to thank you for that, Largo. That really helped me out, man. I got my cat the flippity fish. He don't care about the flipping, just the nip. Put some catnip in that. All right, cool. But anyway, so yeah, that's been my issue has been that there's a bad man that lives back here in the back of my head, and I put him to sleep years ago. And every once in a while, I feel him stir back there in the back, trying to wake up, and he's been stirring. Well, I don't want the bad man to wake up, because he doesn't lead me into a good place. He leads me into doing bad things. So I've had to remove myself from some places that would wake up that bad man. You don't have to be a Swiftie to shake it off.
Right. Shake it off. Shake it off.
There's the Toy Mama. Hey, Toy Mama. And not far behind Toy Mama would be Radical Toys. And if he's back there listening, hey to you too, Adam. Appreciate you, man. Another thing, I'm having some severe financial issues over here, and it's because of missing a whole lot of work and a lot of life issues happening here as well that are taking my money all at the same time, and not enough money to go around, and less money on a paycheck. I live one bad day away from destruction.
You know, that's something I want to touch on, Bill. And you are not alone in that. There are a lot of Americans. In fact, I think the numbers are something like most 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5 Americans live check to check. And that just makes me sad. Like, did you guys just, I mean, and I'm just going to lump them all in one bag. Like, need somebody to come over and slap you. Quit spending more money than you got.
Hard.
That's what people do.
I know, and it's kind of hard when most of your money has to go straight for living. And yes, I know. we buy things that we have no business buying with money that we need to spend other places. And I've been smoking out of the ashtray here lately because I'm cutting back on the cigarettes, because cigarettes cost money too. What's going on here in the chat? I showed that X-Men comic Jonezer gave me Friday night.
Oh. Did you read it? Let me know in the chat if you read it. I was hoping you liked that one.
And Largo's layer. Life happens while you're making other plans. Been there, brother. Yeah.
True that. The great John Lennon said that, right?
Yeah. Adam says there's interesting ads in that comment.
Oh, I bet.
And OBS is singing "The Sun Will Come Out Tomorrow." Yeah, right. Well, I've been waiting for the goddamn sun to come out. Like I live in probably one of the shittiest places on earth. It's the armpit of this nation, or the asshole. I'm not sure, but all that snow melted because it rained and the temperature went up into the upper 50s and lower 60s. So guess what happened? A dense fog descended upon us. And we've been enveloped in fog for like the last week, and it's pissing me off. This too shall pass. Yeah, like a bowl of beans. That passes too. Is it too early to talk revolution stuff? We've been talking it a little bit. And loved it. Yes. Okay. You have all of us here, Bill. Those other places you're talking about don't care about others and never will. Don't let them bother you. You're in the best place here with all of us. And I agree with that. Thank you. I need issue 2 like now, like you said. The first one's free. Yeah, first one's free. Yeah. Hey,
you know, I sell
hey,
these,
good
right?
to see you, man. Gilster has also been struggling for some time now. Much love and respect to everyone. Well, good deal, Gilster. Once again, those of you who are struggling, this is a safe place here. It really is, and I think Eternity and Ellipse and Jones are both can agree with me on that one.
We're a band of brothers. You know, one of us is low, the other ones pick each other up, usually by making fun of each other or, some other type of bullying. But it's all manly, fun way of picking people up. You know, we have
Adam's got a question about that comic book. He says, why is Wolverine in his brown suit, but the rest are in their 90s uniforms?
You know, I think it gets ripped up. A couple issues in, because he does end up in the yellow and blue one, not too far away from issue 1. I think by the time they get to issue 4, I think they're fighting Omega Red, and he's in the yellow and blue.
Okay.
So
I know what
I
you're
don't
talking
remember
about,
because I haven't read it for 30 years, but that was when I was like really into X-Men.
And going back to Revolution, I think that storyline was written, but I think some of the elements that they put in there were put in there to try to appease the fan base that was turned off by Revelation. I'll just put it that way.
I'm sure of that. I'm sure they did a correct course. I mean, look at all the bad Star Wars they did, and then all of a sudden they started doing good Star Wars again, and then they went right back to doing bad Star Wars.
Yeah,
but at least you gotta hope when you see the good ones that you like them, you know. And then every bad Star Wars out there, there's some idiot that likes it.
Oh yeah, everybody's a fan of no matter how bad it is. There's always a fan of it somewhere.
Right, there's somebody likes it. Let them like it.
And OBS giving me that kick in the ass. I'm a tough love advocate. Get over it. Don't be a pussy.
I like it.
Sue Studio says, I'm not a brother, but I hope I'm still welcome. Of course. Absolutely.
I got one.
How much is issue 2 there, Jones or Cha-Ching?
Honestly, I don't have issue 2, but I will give you some comic reader advice. If you want to read the books in an affordable way, don't buy the comic book. Go for the trade paperback. If you guys have a Barnes and Noble or something by you, or somewhere you can order books online, the trade paperback or the collected edition, you can get the entirety of the story, probably, I don't know, $15, $20. I don't know what that translates in Canadian, but that'd be the way to do that. Otherwise, you'll be spending a fortune to read that.
He has not yet watched it. I have, Adam, talking about Revolution.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
You can ask questions, but try not to spoil it too much. You can ask like general questions, but don't get into specifics.
I don't. All I know is that it's Robo Skeletor. That's
that's true. But I think he was Robo Skeletor. That was what he ended up at the end of Revelation.
Tell me one thing, and this is something I want to know that'll help me be happy to like. Do I get to see Skeletor not look like Robo Skeletor, at least in a flashback or something?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's all I want.
Also, and I don't know how much of a spoiler this is, but it may help you a little bit. That storyline that you talked about in DC Comics, they robbed a lot of the plot points in this from that.
It doesn't surprise me. The writer of that's on with Kevin Smith. He's been on with Kevin Smith since the beginning. Yeah, the guy that wrote that.
Yeah. So, all right. Second of all, you were talking about Skeletor. You were talking about this and that and the other. It seemed to me like, and this may be pushed by Mattel, okay, they want to take elements of as much of the lore as they possibly can and shove it all into one show so that they can connect all this shit together so that they can make more toys. So, do you remember that comic book where Skeletor lived on a skeleton planet with bone people and a bone wife? And a bone
they did that. Yeah, they did that in the latest. Kevin Smith wrote it, and
well, all right, Kildor shows up in this. I think you already know that.
Well, that doesn't go with what they said previously, but okay.
Well, that's explained. I'll just put it that way. Like I said, they're fixing some of the problems with the first one, with this one, and they're also mashing all of the lore together into one show.
Well, like I said, watching the other one back, there was a lot of fan service in it. Like there were little nods or little winks. If you knew something about something, you might have picked up on that. You know, like it was a little more clever than I gave it credit for the first time, for sure. If you watch it. And if you're an old fan, there was a little bit in there for you if you could get through the parts you didn't like.
Also, there, like Sir Clifton says, you get to see the Fright Zone in that. There's member berries and little Easter eggs strewn throughout the whole thing.
Well, that's cool. I'm a big Horde guy, and it's neat to see the Horde fighting He-Man, which is how it was originally intended. Instead of later they incorporate She-Ra into it. I've heard it's heavily implied that she's coming along in it. You know, maybe
Are
that'll
they
be neat.
developing Prince Adam's backstory apart from He-Man? Not so much so, but sort of. We get to hear Adam talk about a time that he had with his father as a child. I'll just leave it at that. So if that helps with an Adam backstory, maybe. They don't go into any detail about how he got the power sword and became He-Man or anything like that. Or what you have to do with that is you have to take the lore that you already know, say from Filmation or some other source, Star Comics, and in your mind try to say that maybe something similar to this is the backstory for that. I would guess.
I want to say the only time they touched that was either in the original mini comic where He-Man crawls out of the jungle and the green goddess gives him the clothes and the swords and weapons, or you see it one other time where they tell it the way they tell it in the 2002 cartoon. I don't think in Filmation you don't get much more than just Adam stepping up and saying, "One day, fabulous secret powers were revealed to me," and and then like you just get it. That's the explanation you get in that.
I think they did do an episode where they showed He-Man getting the power sword for the first time, and they did show him turning Battle Cat into Battle Cat for the first time.
In Filmation, I can tell you they did not. They showed him turning Battle Cat into Battle Cat.
That's the one I'm thinking about, and I thought
never He-Man.
Okay, I'm gonna try to read this, Adam. I know that trying to chit chat on the phone, my fingers get fat too. I won't spoil anything, but remember when we heard Joker as Skeletor? Yes. Well, now Hordak sounds just like
Al Simmons from Spawn.
Yeah,
that actually might be good. Let me tell you something, Skeletor.
The ending will shock you, though, Joneser. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, well, crap, maybe it's going to happen. I don't know. I think they are going to go in that direction, Adam, but I'm wondering how they're going to get away with it. Let's just put it that way. Basically, the U.S. dollar is doubled in Canadian currency, close to it anyway.
Okay, so then a collected edition would probably be around 30 Canadian to 35, 40.
And
but you would have all the issues. The story would be completed without a cliffhanger, you know.
The answer to Largo here is what makes it weird is we all knew that was a secret, Adam being He-Man. Now all of Eternia and the bad guys all know it. Now it's weird.
Yeah, I didn't like that, you know. I mean, again, there you're back to Steve Ditko. If you do that, now you can't undo it.
Well, you know, that's what happened. That's what happened when they did Civil War. They let Peter Parker go out there and show himself to be Spider-Man, ruined his whole goddamn life, and then they had to come back.
Him and Iron Man.
What was the name? What was the demon's name that fucked his whole one day later thing?
Oh, Mephisto. Yeah. That's all bad Spider-Man. I haven't read any of that. I know of it, but you lose me somewhere in the late 90s. I endured the Clone Saga enough to see him come back, and then I was gone shortly thereafter.
Adam says that's an action figure cost. I'm going to read this digitally.
Now you can find it on the high seas, my brother. I think you can find it there.
Yeah, I'm certain you can. I've got a lot of that stuff that I got when I did sale back in the day. What was I thinking about? My mind just went blank. But yeah, as far as the show goes, I think you will enjoy it, Joneser. There are some.
I hope I do. You know, I mean, me and Lyric, like I said, we're watching the other ones, and I want to watch this next one with him.
And I'll just say that some of the issues that you had with the other one are not present in this.
If they start looking more like their action figures and more classically looking, I'm gonna.
Well, yes and no. I mean, we get some nod. You've seen the trailer. You know this. You see some nods to Tila and her snake armor.
I did. I seen it even there as the Green Goddess. If that's still Tila,
It is. So
okay,
yeah,
they did that in the comic book too. She went the goddess of the snake people or whatever.
You won't see regular Skeletor, but you do see some flashbacks. So yes.
Okay, so I get to see him in the past looking like he should.
Well, for a moment, yes.
Yeah.
Or
and yeah, that's the killer of it all, because that's like what I want. I want to see them look the way they're supposed to look and fight the way they're supposed to fight.
Now, I will say this: don't watch it too closely, because as a result of the missives from on high to fix all the bullshit, there are some continuity errors in the fixing. I've noticed. I won't point them out. You can find them for yourself, or ignore them, or not see them.
Had them all over too. Because I read there's a comic series that led up to the first 5 episodes. And
yeah, that's bullshit. That's bullshit.
I read that.
The comic book's going to be bullshit. I'll just tell you that right now.
Well, it was written by the same bullshitters who did the show, so it's supposed to go.
What I'm saying is that the comic book, let's just say, the storyline may have happened in somebody's head on the show, in the lore on the show, but
I do know later the comic book fixed its course in that way, because they continued and they did it where it was like, because of the multiverse is such a cliche thing now. You have the Spider-Man multiverse and the Flashpoint alternate universe. You know what I mean? Like, or the New 52 or the whatever you want to call it.
I even think there may have been somebody who said at some point that in all continuities, one or all universes, there's this and there's that, and then in each one of them, one is the hero and one is the villain, and that kind of leads into this could all be connected somehow. Evil Lynn has a new outfit, yes, and the Koof jab.
Yeah, I heard they take a jab at the jab. That's kind of funny.
They do take a jab at the jab, and I find that hilarious. And those who are broken by the fact that they had to be trapped in their homes and wear face diapers on their faces, and are now they were once human beings but are not anymore, and they walk amongst us still. They might be triggered off by that, and if they're not, I think that they need to rethink their lives a little bit, because they've been acting a fool about this and now and about other things. I'll just say, and if that doesn't trigger them off, then I think that they shouldn't be triggered off by these other things. I'm going to leave it at that. And those who are in the know what I'm talking about, and those who are not in the know, don't worry about it. It don't concern you.
Yeah, I don't know. Who cares what people think?
Well, I get it. Yeah, we're getting into specifics there, Adam. I'm gonna take that back off the screen there. Yeah, I'm curious to see if they come out with a third iteration of this and where it's going to go. And I'm just going to leave it at that, because you have to watch it all the way through to the very, very, very end.
Okay.
But
I'm going to make a guess, and I want y'all to tell me if I'm right.
Okay.
William Shatner is Granomir, the dragon.
No.
Oh, I got that wrong. Okay, don't tell me who he is.
Okay, I won't.
That's what I was hoping.
Right.
I was hoping Granomir the Dragon was going to pop in and he was going to go, listen, Tila, there's going to be someone in the world that's going to, it would have been the greatest thing ever. But no, we didn't get it.
No, but Granomir's in it, and I actually shed a tear over Granomir, but let's just say, yeah, Granomir is in it.
That made me happy. I caught him in the trailer, and I was like, okay, there's only one dragon that can be.
And I'm going to be honest with you. I like the way Granomir looked in this better than I like the way he actually looked in the mini comic and in the TV show.
When I was a kid, what do you think my favorite mini comic or favorite episode of He-Man was?
The one with Granomir in it?
The Dragon's Gift. Yeah, I loved the moral of that. And there's a more drawn out version of the story, but I mean the broad strokes are basically Skeletor freezes Man-at-Arms. He-Man and Tila have to quest to find the cure to help unfreeze Man-at-Arms. It basically leads them to Granomir, who asks him, but because he's the all-powerful, he can wave his hand, even He-Man can't stop him, no one can do anything. Granomir is all, right? He asks a request. He-Man says, we'll do, or Tila actually speaks first. It says, well, anything you say. And he wants, because there's one thing older than him, which is the Sky Tree. And he wants He-Man to take his sword and chop down the Sky Tree. And Granomir wants to watch the Sky Tree burn in his fire because he's so old, he's jealous of that tree, right? So they go, long story short, find the tree. He-Man says, we can't cut it down. They don't cut it down. And Granomir says the coolest thing ever was it honor, courage, bravery, and the keeping of a bargain. Who'd have thought humanity could have been progressed so far in 1,000 years? It's a great moral. It's a great lesson.
I was just I got a Instagram pop here. I think Random Dioramas over there making some dioramas on his channel right now, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, cool.
My favorite episode was The Secret of the Sword. That was the moment that Adora had to rescue He-Man.
That's the first She-Ra.
Mm-hmm. Chills every time when the T-Man music starts. Yep.
Oh yeah, it's the best moment.
Yeah.
You got a favorite Filmation episode, Bill?
The Christmas episode with Skeletor walking with the little dog in his hand saying, I'm not nice.
See, I miss that Skeletor too. I don't want robot Skeletor. I want my bungling, that Skeletor to me. Where is he?
I enjoyed a lot of the Filmation cartoons, but I enjoyed them more as an adult than I did when I was a kid because they angered me when I was a kid. And I think I've talked about this before because when I first watched that, I was like, oh, there's a He-Man and Master Universe. Oh, I got to check this out. So I had to go outside and turn the antenna over there towards Tupelo and get channel 9 on. And then, of course, it was fuzzy because we don't catch that too far away. And I'm watching it, and the first thing I see is this attack track that's blue, that's huge, and I'm like, what the fuck is this thing? That's not the attack track. And then Man-at-Arms has this big old porn stash, and I'm like, that's not Man-at-Arms. And
Burt Reynolds.
Everything on it was an antithesis of everything that I had been led to believe about He-Man up to this point, from reading nothing but mini comics and watching and listening over and over and over that record that came with Point Dread.
Or playing with your toys.
Yes. So it took me a while to develop a love of this cartoon, and I do love the cartoon, people. I've got the whole thing in there on DVD. I watch it a lot. My wife came in there one time and said, "Why are you still watching this stuff?" I said, "I can't help it. Right. I just like it."
The Filmation show, it has its own charm. It's got some cheese. It's a G-rated He-Man for kids, and that's what it is. And we all learned something today that we can all like things, and not everybody else has to hate on them.
That's true.
It is what it is.
First, the Mike Young cartoon from 2000X.
And that's a good one too.
Yeah, the problem
was a little more serious.
Yeah, I
That was
need
done
to
a little more
watch
serious.
that in its entirety. I've seen an episode here or there of that. And,
Dude, they got
and
the
I'm
whole thing
aware-
on YouTube for free. You can watch
Sure
it on
it is.
YouTube for nothing.
I need to watch that because I only watched an episode here or there of that when it was on TV because they didn't want me to watch it for some odd damn reason. And that's why it failed. That's why it's not
worthwhile.
because it wasn't good. It was because they wouldn't let
Yeah.
you fucking watch it.
I liked that
Yeah.
one. They kept changing the time slot. They kept
Yeah,
changing
that's what I'm talking about. I mean, you try to watch it and it wouldn't be on, and you're like, "Fuck," and then you'd miss it, and then you get behind in it, and you couldn't watch it over again because there weren't no reruns of it. And you're like, "God damn!"
I got lucky when it first went on. It actually won an Emmy, which is television, Oscars, and it was pretty good. And I actually caught it because I worked nights, so I had to like set my VCR to get it while I was at work. But I actually caught like the first 6 episodes of it on one VHS tape, and I'd watch that over and over again.
Nice. How are we looking on time there, Joneser?
We've been on about an hour.
About an hour? Okay. What I want to do right now, if you don't mind, is take a quick commercial break, and we'll come right back after that.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Absolutely.
We'll return after these messages.
Here are a few words about Levi's jeans and cords.
Levi's.
Levi's.
The citizens of Toothopolis remain ever watchful for.
The cavity creeps! Chris!
We make hose and teeth!
Quick! Warn the Crest team! Chris! Cresty's trying to tell us something. The cavity creeps! Chris, come on!
We make hose and
Let's give him the brush with Crest's fluoride. Watch treats, see your dentist, and fight the cavity creeps like the Crest team.
Fight cavities with Crest!
Imagine Eternia. Imagine the Gate of Fangs. Batteries not included. Imagine the soaring sky tracks. Figures sold separately. The Cavern of Justice. Imagine the power lift to the control chamber. At last, from the masters of the universe, the world you've always imagined can be yours.
Get yourself ready for a trip through McDonald land. Take along a friend and grab a hold of Ronald's hand. Follow Ronald McDonald through the land of apple pie trees. And don't be surprised if you meet Big Mac and Big Cheese. There's thick shake volcanoes, you'll even find a French fry thatch. Now just turn around and see if you won't find a hamburger patch as you're heading for a McDonald's in McDonald land, a McDonald's in McDonald land, a McDonald's.
Coming from the farthest reaches of the universe to challenge the worst villains on Earth are the most powerful heroes ever in the battle of the Superpowers Collection. Hark! Batman being called to stop a dastardly deed? New from Kenner's Superpowers Collection, the Batmobile, figures with power action sold separately.
Got you, Joker! Don't laugh yet! You missed the war! It's a trap! Activate Batarang! Trouble, Batman? Not my Batmobile on these days, too!
Is this the end of our heroes in the Batmobile? You decide.
If Monday's sad or Tuesday's sad, make a Saturday.
That's a Sunday.
Wednesday rains or Thursday's gray, make a Saturday.
Looks like a Sunday.
Instead of half a banana and a pineapple ring, add yogurt creamy smooth. Pop a grape on top and that's a Saturday for you. Make a weekend treat any day of the week. Make a Saturday.
Now that's a Saturday.
And we are back. I'm gonna run through here. Briscoe laughing there, but I'm not gonna be able to show these on the screen. But let's see. Here's a question. Says Adam, would you like to see a live action film of Motu?
I guess more He-Man's better than no He-Man, but quite honestly, as my old age, I think I'm becoming kind of a toxic fan where I'm just kind of uphill both ways and such, and snow. And when my day, things were better and the music's better and everything you like sucks.
Yeah. Adam says that he'd rather see a live action series instead of a movie. I don't know. Maybe. The problem is that if they do the live action, I'm gonna be like Jonezer. There's too much that has to change in it, and that's gonna really bother us.
I don't know. Could you imagine it done like freaking the TV Hercules from the 90s, like all just corny and like, you know?
I could, but I don't think
I would like
that. I could see that, and I would probably like
it being good.
That would be good, but the problem is I don't think that they would go in that direction at all.
See, I think that's what you need to do. What's everything nowadays? It's all too serious. Maybe take it back a little bit.
And so serious says I've never watched He-Man. Well, it
wasn't marketed.
Taste. I mean, we were kids, and of course, we're at that age now where we're suffering from nostalgia, and we're paying the price for it. It's called the nostalgia price, the nostalgia tax. The nostalgia tax can be high at times. I can tell you that now. That's one of the reasons why I'm suffering the way I am, because I paid the tax over Christmas. I'm looking at what Susudio wrote here. These days, if this commercial, talking about the Ronald McDonald Land commercial, people are touchy-feely, would think that Ronald McDonald is a P word, skipping with small children. Very sad, isn't it? Yes, I agree. But, you know, let's not go there. We can't have fun anymore. Well, that's true. There's a lot of things that are fun that used to be fun that we're not allowed to do anymore because it triggers some people and it makes them.
You don't have to pay any mind to any of that. Just have fun. Who cares if it bothers somebody? Do you?
And Adam says, I always said that the Punky Brewster show wouldn't fly today. Old man adopt young girl. Yeah. You know,
it had a catchy theme song, you know.
My problem with all of that, thinking those thoughts, is that's the problem of the person thinking those thoughts. Why is their mind going in that direction?
Classic projection. I don't know.
Since I'm older, it was not something I watched because that's right. I'll have to say that the generation that preceded us, that would be the boomers, and they tended not to. They tend not to be as nostalgic about things as we were for some reason. You know, that's why you didn't see Howdy Doody toys everywhere when we were growing up. Right?
The people that were into it were into it. If you catch a boomer person of that era, or even what we Generation X, we're getting old too. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean,
But you catch someone from yesteryear and they find something that's near and dear to their heart, you're going to get them to remember that.
well, that's who you're selling those Roy Rogers comic books to, I would imagine.
Correct.
And there's not a whole lot of them left.
Nope. You know what? Even less, they got the people that are into them romance comics. They got the Patsy Walker and the, True Love, and people read that too.
Yeah, and Brenda Starr.
There you go. Archies. I never liked Archies. People read them.
I read them when I was a kid for the laws, but it's not something I would collect now, and not even back then. I just read them for the lulls and gave them away.
Right.
Most 70s and 90s shows wouldn't even fly these days for the most stupidest of reasons, says Briscoe. Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
I was watching back Married with Children. What do you think the first thing Al Bundy says when he comes onto the camera?
What?
Woman, I'm home. Where's my dinner?
Yep. Yeah, that's true. Whoa. I still watch old Superman, Batman, and monkeys. Of course you do.
Monkeys. Hey, we're the monkeys.
And you have a nice pop culture collection over there. And I know that for a fact. And you do collect toys, but it's the toys that you collected from your childhood. And it's the same with us, which is why you didn't get into He-Man, because you were busy working at the time. And one of the reasons why I'm not in Ninja Turtles is because I didn't watch them on TV.
Right.
I was aware of them because of the Eastman and Laird comic books, and the cartoon show was not that, and it didn't.
It much like He-Man in that way. That by the time it got to animated and for kids, it had to get watered down and made silly because it had to be a kids show. But like you said, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic books were very dark, graphic. The turtles killed people.
Yeah,
like that was what it was.
Exactly. And like I said, I was aware of them, read some of them, didn't really get as far into it as I could have because I wasn't able to get them because I was busy doing other things, such as,
smoking and drinking and woman chasing
and playing in the mud and being yelled at by someone who wears 3 stripes on their shoulder and that kind of crap. And now Speed Racer I did get into because that was the heyday of the Ted Turner TBS afternoon delight. And of course we didn't have cable, but the guy across the street did, and we would watch that. And was it Battleship Yamamoto? What was that thing called?
That Speed Racer, that was one of those cartoons I couldn't get into. To me, it was like 20 minutes of like that's basically, and the monkey and the kid in the back, but he doesn't know this time because they didn't do that 50,000 other times. All
right, I want to address what's on the screen right now from Adam. He says, do you guys think that these old 80s franchises will adapt to new generations, or will some fade away? I wonder. Look, here's the thing. I'll let you answer, but I'm going to talk first on this one because that's been on my mind for a while. No, I do not think that they will adapt to a new generation because the new generation doesn't give a shit about what we cared about. They want new things, better things. They want their things. They want something that they can remember when they get to be our age. They don't want to remember our things. Think about it, Joneser. Do you play with Howdy Doody toys? No, you do not.
I didn't remember it. Don't even know what it was.
Do you seek out stuff that was a Davy Crockett hat? Do you want a Davy Crockett hat in your collection? No, you don't give a damn about Davy Crockett. Will you watch it? Yes. But is it something that you wanted to have when you were a kid? No, you wanted the new things that were coming out. And that's what this generation is yearning for, in my opinion. And they're not getting it because they're rehashing everything that we loved and trying to shove it at kids, and they don't want it. Which is why
no, it's adults in the toy section buying those, if anyone buys them at all.
You want to see what kids like? You go to the aisle over and look at that Paw Patrol shit and all that good shit that's over there.
Yeah, and then after that, if there's still kids past that age, you go to the electronics aisle and go check out the PlayStation and the Xbox because they're doing that. They ain't playing with toys by that age. They're playing with electronic toys.
When we die, all of this shit is going to be like that Roy Rogers comic book that you can't sell because you can't find the old man that cares about it to buy it.
But when I do, he buys all of them.
Yeah, I understand. Now, I know that you probably agree with me on this, Junior, but if you have anything other to add to it, please do.
No, I just say that a good adaptation is a good adaptation. If we want to talk about things passing the test of time and things that don't, I mean, here's ones that pass the test of time. Batman. Batman is still caught on. He's hard. He's strong. He's big. He's Batman. But here's one that this one might upset you, Bill, but it's true. You know that's getting kind of let down and passed by? Superman. Superman was the number one for the longest time, and it's flipped. It's flipped, and it's not even close anymore. No. I mean, Batman, and Batman in the Batcopter. You didn't say Superman in the Supercopter with Superboy and Crypto. We don't. Superman's becoming pushed to yesteryear. You know,
well,
and that kind of makes me sad.
There's a reason. There's a reason for that. There's a reason for that, and it's the fact that no one can write him properly.
Well, how could you write him in the first place? It's like doing a Flash comic. Like, name me a problem he can't solve in a nanosecond. It's impossible to write for these things, but you almost have to suspend your suspension of disbelief and just enjoy the thing for what it is without trying to pick it apart. Now, you know, Captain Cold's going to shove that freeze gun into the floor and the Flash is going to slip, right? Now, come on. Could he be fast enough to run around that or through that or over it or travel through time and punch him before that happens? Or, you know what I mean? Like, no, he's going to run right into it and slip in
it. Here's Sir Clifton. He says, I refuse to collect the turtles now because the turtles ended my toy collecting days and I don't want to go through that again. Because he's afraid if he collects the turtles that it'll be the end of his toy collecting now. I get that. I can understand that.
You know, that kind of touches on something because when I started recollecting Masters of the Universe, that was the first toy I collected, right? Well, then what was the next thing that piqued my interest? Ninja Turtles. Mm-hmm. And then what followed the Ninja Turtles? Dick Tracy.
Girl. Oh, okay. Dick Tracy.
Right. So I did all that. I followed my path as a child to its completion. You know, and guess what I'm buying now? Marvel
Dick
Legends.
Tracy.
Marvel Legends.
Marvel Legends. You got all
That's
the Dick
new
Tracy
thing. That's a new thing. I didn't collect the superhero stuff much when I was a kid. If I did, I had these little Toy Biz versions of these guys or whatever, you know, like that size, like those little figures that barely did anything. You know, the Marvel Legends are fully posable and all that, but I did what Jared was afraid of. I bought the last thing I bought as a kid, and I'm still buying shit, so I wouldn't worry about that.
My brother had a Hopalong Cassidy watch, Roy Rogers, the Studio. Your brother was probably a little older than you, I take it, maybe.
Western stuff was big. They had Bonanza. They had the Rifleman, Gunsmoke. Come on, it was all over.
Everything has its day in the sun, and I think superheroes as movies is coming to an end as well. That doesn't mean that there won't be any superhero movies. It just means that every freaking movie at the movie theater won't be a superhero movie here in a little bit. And maybe that'll make better superhero movies, maybe.
Or just rest it. I think the superhero thing's played out, dude. And this is coming from a guy who loves this stuff. But it's like we've had so many of these movies and not all of them great. You know, they don't need to be. I remember watching like the cheesy ones with Captain America on the motorcycle and then, you know, the bad ones, but you're just happy to have one. Now I'd be happy if they just made something else.
I would be happy if they made a decent movie.
Well, yeah.
And that they haven't made a decent superhero movie since Endgame, in my opinion. Endgame was the end game. And DC, Warner Brothers has yet to make a decent DC movie, and I hold no hope for that yet, even with James Gunn's crap. I mean, he's trying to shove too much shit into this damn legacy movie Superman Legacy, they're casting for Supergirl in that. He's got Green Lantern going to show up in that, and he's got this going to show up in that, and he's got that going to show up, and he's going to overblow that thing to the point to where it's going to be too bloated and too many different characters to really mean anything.
Well, I mean, and is everybody going to be in it, or is it going to be quick flyby?
Well, the problem with that is everything's going to be a quick flyby, even the damn plot of the movie, right? Because you shoved all that shit in there.
Right.
Adam says, I think Marvel will last. I mean, Batman, Spider-Man, Superman, etc. All right, here's the thing. Who's Marvel owned by? Disney. And who's DC owned by? Warner Brothers. And what are these? These are movie companies. And what do they make? They make movies. And they're tired of making comic books, and they're tired of losing money on the comic books. And I think they're going to farm that shit out to other places, and they're going to license that. So instead of an in-house Marvel doing it, you're going to have like I don't know, Rob Liefeld doing it or something like that, and that may save it, and that may not. I don't know. I don't think the comic books as a medium, as we know it today, is going to continue the way it always has been. It's going to change somehow. It has to. And Briscoe says, kids these days seem to have really lame IPs. I would be so bored with the crap they have. Well, the thing is, the IPs that they have or that they care about are video game based. Roblox or whatever the hell that is. What's that other one that's based on a video game that has a space in the toy aisle?
Among Us?
What is that shit? They have vehicles and they have little characters and shit. It's a video game though. It's based on a video game. God damn it.
Fortnite?
Yeah, that's it. Fortnite.
My kids play that.
Nightwing says Superman is too powerful. He is.
That's kind of the whole idea.
That's the point. And see that there's only been a very few writers who could do a decent Superman story, and if you want to see a Superman story done correct, read anything about Superman done by Elliot S. With a Superman logo with an exclamation point, Elliot S. Magan. If you read
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but I liked. I can't remember the name of the writers, but they're the same people that wrote the Long Halloween for Batman. They wrote a Superman story. I think it was a 4-parter, and it was called Superman for All Seasons.
Yes, I've seen that. Very good story.
That is very well done.
Yeah.
And he kind of looks like the Superman of the 50s. I think that was kind of what I liked about him. He had that big jaw and a barrel chest, and he didn't look like a
that was the point of that story, though, was to evoke those feelings as you read that story.
Right. No, then they did a good job.
Right. Mom's got a point here. I want to say, kids today are not interested in the toys in the 80s. Most kids today don't even play with toys. Sad but true. That's true. That's the video games. Video games are it.
Right.
And they will buy toys based upon their video games because. I think that Fortnite shit sells pretty good, if I'm not mistaken. Roblox, whatever the fuck the Roblox that sells. Mario, that shit sells, right?
Yeah, well, the kids are Lyric likes all that stuff. My older kids, if they buy any of that Fortnite stuff, it's just to set it up on their shelf and look at it. But Lyric will actually play with the stuff.
Briscoe 1234 got a question for you there, Joneser. Mesco Dick Tracy stuff. Are you getting it?
Oh yeah, I answered them, and yeah, I pre-ordered everything. I hope they make
knew
more.
That. I knew it. I would let you answer him there.
Yeah.
Marvel Toys is a new thing for me. He's doing the same thing you are. Nightwing says, in the 84 cartoons with Super Friends, Superman held back his power so his friends could help. Well, a lot of times they had to put Superman in a position where he couldn't just be the be-all, end-all. And I think the classic with the 2 arms on it, Supermobile, showed up in one of those Superman cartoons. Nice, same here. Do you think we will get a lot of figures for the line, or do you think it will be a small run? What's he talking about? The Dick Tracy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been answering them back and forth in the comments here.
Okay.
Basically just talking different Dick Tracy characters that me or him would like to see in the line. He had mentioned Big Boy Caprice. I would like to see, like more the comic strip than instead not quite like the movie. That's what it seems to be the style they're going for. I'd like to see like, the Brow or BBIs or
the classic Bill,
Yeah.
the ones that people, the ones that are in the public consciousness.
Right. The blank would be great. And then when the mask comes off, not Madonna, be Frank Redrum from the comic book, where he had the pig nose and he had the kind of grotesque face. That was to me, that was the greatest. I don't know if I'm spoiling. Hey, this isn't for a spoiler from an 80-year-old comic book, just in case you guys didn't read it back then. But when they took the mask off the blank, that was the greatest moment because his face underneath was even worse than the not having one.
Radical Toy says films. Yeah, it's time for something new. Speaking of new, it's time for new animation. I'm way past tired of 3D animation from 10 years ago. I'm a big fan of traditional cell animation, but I think that that's gone away too. I think what we're going to see here towards the future is AI animation, and I don't hold any hope for that being good. Yep, there's you answering. My brothers are both younger than me. They showed older Hopalong Cassidy on Saturday afternoon. We had Daniel Boone, Bonanza, Wild Wild West, Have Gun Will Travel, Gunsmoke, many more. And of course, I grew up watching those reruns as well, but I didn't have any desire to go buy any figures of, say, Ben Cartwright and Little Joe and that. Yeah, Fortnite. Fortnite is boring to Briscoe 1234, and he is agreeing with you. A Big Boy Patrice would be a cool figure. I noticed Roblox has 90s game music in it. Daughter's laying, and all I suddenly hear is Final Fantasy music. She's playing. Okay, she's playing the game Roblox.
Lyric plays that a lot.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's playing it, and they have that friggin' never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down. And he's laughing his butt off as the thing's playing for whatever reason.
He's being rickrolled by the game, and he doesn't even know it.
Oh, he's doing it to other people.
All right, I'm going to have to refresh this screen again because it's not picking up the chat anymore. There we go. Video games are good in small doses, or at least they used to be, for hand-eye coordination. Well, a lot of my generation plays video games a lot more than you think that they would. I know Jonezer plays video games. I know that you probably play video games there, Adam. I've in my day played a little bit of Doom and some Pac-Man and stuff like that. But as far as home video game, I didn't grow up with a console, so I didn't do it.
I played them all my life. We had an Atari, we had a Nintendo, we had the Super Nintendo, we had the Genesis, we had the PlayStation when it came out, the Nintendo 64, the whole. I've had them my whole life.
Briscoe says he has a squad car. He opened it, and he has a Big Boy Getaway car, but still in the box. Do you have the Big Boy Getaway car? Do you want that?
Yeah, I got them both. And I opened them both. The Big Boy Getaway car I had was in the box, never opened, and I opened it, put it together, put the stickers on it, rolled it around the floor, and went, wee! I mean, displayed it like a grown-up. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that video that you made proved your point. You guys probably played arcade games. Look, if I had all the quarters I wasted in them damn machines, I wouldn't have these money problems I'm having right now. I can tell you that. The video game crash of 82. Was there a video game crash in 82, Joneser?
Yeah. The market got blown out, and then it didn't come back till Nintendo really brought it back.
I remember being begged for a gaming system. I think Nintendo was it by a small child of mine when she was little, and I think I bit the bullet and bought it for her, but I didn't buy her an Xbox. She never got an Xbox. She got one now. They play that crap all the time.
Sure. I like video games, but like Adam said, they're good in small doses. You can't, like, I have a cousin who will not be named, but he's on here on YouTube and he does his live stream. My cousin lives on the video game. Like, that's his whole life.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't exist outside of it. And that to me is just sad. That's no life at all.
I can't imagine just sitting there playing this shoot 'em up video game where all you're doing is running around with a gun in your hand, shooting everything that moves constantly. I mean, that's what Doom was for me. Yeah. Did I enjoy playing it for a little while? Sure, I did. And I when I got to the end, I moved to the next and next until I finally got sick of it and quit. Did I go to Quake? No.
I like Duke Nukem.
I played that one time. I played the Castle Wolfenstein.
Yeah, that's fun too.
I mostly play RPGs, open world and stealth games. Combo of all three of those. I play a little D&D in my time now. It's tabletop D&D, mind you. I find that to be a lot more fun than online crap.
You know, good old role-playing game with a piece of paper and some dice and some friends. You know, that's a lost thing that like only a small dregs of society actually participate in nowadays compared to, you know, how it used to be. Now it's almost a cult. Like you do that or you're just, you know, you're a weirdo.
I still have my Atari 2600, says Sue Studio. My brother brought it for me when I was in Texas in the 80s. Used to play a whole lot of pinball and killed 2 Captain Fantastic machines by getting too high of a score. Killed. Surprised you didn't hear about the the ET games all wound up in the landfill because it was a shitty game and
that's
nobody bought
probably it. What caused the game crash in '82 is that ET game.
Yeah, I have seen that. To be honest with you, Adam, I have seen that, but it's not something that's on the top of my mind.
You know what, Bill?
Give a shit about video games.
Get on and off the video game real quick. There's a show on Netflix called High Score, and I think it's a 5 or 6 part documentary, and it shows the entire history of video games from where they came from to where they are now. And they touch on a lot of this information. And I actually think someone like you who did not grow up playing them would at least appreciate the information in the thing about where they've come from as far as its impact on society.
What's the name of this, Jonezer?
It's called High Score. It's on YouTube or Netflix. It's on Netflix. High Score. And it goes through all of it. It goes through the role-playing games, the shooters, the invention of it in the first damn place. The ones where we like did words on the computer. You remember that? You've walked through a door, and to the left there's a what do you do? And you have to type something.
I had those games. I played the hell out of some of those games.
Those are in there too. You know, they cover the wide range.
It was the final plug, but not the main reason why it crashed. I guess she's talking about ET and winding up in the landfill. Yeah. Okay, High Score. I'm seeing the little logo for it here. I'm trying to burn this in my brain so I'll remember to watch it later on. Maybe
it's a good watch. If you're looking for something to watch, I mean, even though you weren't a video game guy, I think you would still find the history of it interesting. I sure did. I watched the whole damn thing.
Real quick, I want to plug a few things right quick here. If you want to become a channel member, please do. If you want to become a Patreon member, I have a Patreon. My bot, if you're paying any attention to it, has got the links to it all throughout the chat, and you can click on any of those links, and they will take you to those places so that you can support me if you choose to, if you have the ability to. I would really appreciate that. If you have not subscribed to me, please take a moment and do that. YouTube has come along and decided that I was getting too close to 1,000, and so they dinged me 7 subscribers in the last week. So whatever that means, I don't know why that happened. It could be because the bots or whatever. I don't know. But check to see if you're still subscribed to me. If you're not, then hit the subscribe. I would really appreciate that. Please share the channel with your friends because that's the only way I can grow. And if you haven't yet liked the video, please hit the like button because that really does help the channel.
There's
All
one
of these
like
things.
on this video, and I'm the one that did it.
Okay. So how many people are in here?
There
So
are
if you
12
haven't
people
yet,
in the chat. We should have at least 11 more likes.
thank you.
It really helps
And,
the algorithm.
It does. And when the video is over, there's a comment section down there. And I say this over and over again. And the only people who come down there and comment in it are Boba Hicks and Johnny Sorensen.
Good guys.
They'll do that because they're watching the replay. Now, I know the comment section isn't open right now while we're live, but as soon as the video's over, it does open up. I don't care what you put in there. You can go, you suck, Bill. I don't care. But the interaction is what tells the algorithm to push videos.
Funny, Adam sees 17 likes. I only seen the one. I guess my screen doesn't update.
Yeah, that's that. I've had that phenomena over here as well. Refreshed, it's up to 15 now, says Briscoe. Thank you. And I hit the like button on the way in. Says,
Now, wait a minute. I see 1. Adam sees 17 and Briscoe sees 15. How many is it really?
Who knows? And Radical says, you lost 7 subs, Bill. Damn YouTube. Yeah, YouTube does it. Yeah, that YouTube giveth and YouTube taketh away. You can comment while live. You just have to close the live chat. Okay. Thanks,
What?
Radical Boys. Yeah,
This is some YouTube ninja stuff, dude. What? I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, you close the live chat and then you have to move. He's right. Radical Mom says, I always hit the like first as I'm coming in. Wait, maybe not. Aha. Yeah, you can't do it while I'm live. You have to wait until the live stream is over. And then you can either watch the replay of the live chat or you can go into the comment section. That's what he's talking about. But comments are not available at all until the live stream is over. Speaking of live streams, we got something coming up tomorrow night, don't we, Jones?
We are going to attempt to do the colorful people of Walmart. We figured weirdo Walmart shoppers would be fun to make fun of, probably because I is one.
Oh, yeah, you can, but it's tricky, says Radical Toys. If it's tricky, it's going to be hard for me and Joneser because we're kind of Luddites. So CEO sees 18 likes.
See, it's a lie. All of it.
Adam says, I don't know. The devil on my shoulder is telling lies.
Yeah, he lied to me. He told me we could do this. Now I can't do it. I couldn't do it before, so maybe that's just the way it is.
But anyway, my main point is, if you really truly like the content that I'm doing here, I would like to get a little bit of support. It doesn't have to be much. It can be only what you want to give. But if you can't do that, super chats can help. You can go down and hit the little $ button that's down there in the Walmartians.
That's what they call them.
and you can hit that little $sign in the chat button there function, and you can send me a little bit of money that way, or however you want to do it. And if you join the channel and you become at least a basic supporter, you can be able to use as a YouTube member, you can use those little special icon or emoticons that you see Susudio using every once in a while. And there are some perks to being a member of the channel or a Patreon, and that is I do Google Meets every once in a while. And that is content that you cannot get on the channel. You can only get it if you become a member. That's where we all meet up in a Google Meet room and we can meet each other and talk to each other. Don't have to show our faces. I mean, I like Salt never shows his face or talks, but he comes in and interacts with us. Sometimes I show a movie over there that we can't show here. What crest do I like more, the He-Man H or the original? The Maltese cross, because that to me symbolizes power and authority and stuff like that, and it's something that goes way back to medieval times. So yes,
I like the original one too, just simply because it looked like the toy I held in my hand when I was a kid. To me, that's He-Man to me when I see that.
Yeah, it keeps getting called something different that was when it was appropriated by the bad guys from World War II.
Oh, sure.
And then they want to associate it with that, and they don't want to be associated with that. But if they would stand their ground and say, look, now this is not that. This is a Maltese cross, and y'all just get over it. I think people would get over it. But when you fall down on your knees and you say, "Oh, I'll do whatever you want me to," what happens then? Everything gets watered down, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's stupid people think stupid things is stuff they don't know what they're talking about. But it is what it is. Yeah, the H is fine too because it's from the Battle Armor He-Man thing. So I mean, I prefer the original one because that's the way I remember it. But it doesn't really bother me if they put the H there
battle armor. In the original days, the reason the Battle Armor He-Man got the H was for the very same damn reason. Oh, we don't want to be associated with the bad guys from World War II.
It doesn't mean that to me, but I mean, if that's what people want to think, they can think that.
Well, you know, the bad guys in World War II had another cross, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, they had a few different things up. There's
that was from China, if I'm not mistaken. That was a symbol from. If you watch a certain karate movie or kung fu movie, the Master of the Flying Guillotine, you're going to see that thing in that, and it has nothing to do with them. They appropriated a lot of images.
No, I mean it's a lot of this stuff has a deep history. It was used throughout the years in many different cultures and societies in many different ways for many different reasons. And just because one idiot culture had a hold of it for a little while and put a bad stink on it doesn't mean that's what it is.
The cross was in existence long before the mustachioed weirdo.
Exactly.
I don't know. I think that people get too wrapped up in a lot of things. They humor these days. You can't do outrageous humor anymore. You can't do.
Sure, you can. You just have to do like Dave Chappelle, where you just, I said that, and it's offensive, and I don't care if you don't like it.
Well, offensive humor, some people can do it, and some people can't. I will say that. I guess the best way that I can try to describe it from my point of view is the Amazing Jonathan can do. Hey, thank you. Oh, good grief. Thank you so much, Radical Mom. She just gave me a $10 Canadian super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And it's a super sticker of a little kitty, and he's just laughing. I love it. In the 60s, what was worn by surfers. It was also worn by motorcyclists.
Yeah, I remember seeing it on a few biker jackets growing up.
Well, I was going somewhere and I just got my thought derailed, but I'll get back to that. Now, are you talking about misappropriation of images? I seem to remember the Punisher.
Yeah, he gets a bad rap, but it's like, I don't know. To me, it's like stuff doesn't mean what people want to make it mean or think it means. You know what I mean? It's the Punisher's symbol. That's for him and for his comic and his brand. It's not for these other people. But another problem is it's like it's popular amongst the vets and police. And I'd hate to get all political here, but the police haven't had a great reputation in the last couple years with some people, and there's been calls to defund them and such, and seeing them wear the Punisher symbol just throws them all into, the group or what have you. And you have people attack them and say, well, police officers shouldn't like what the Punisher stands for. The Punisher stands for murdering people outside of the law. Policeman shouldn't think like that, right?
Mm-hmm. And I agree with you on that one. But I think that the Punisher symbol is the Punisher symbol. And just because somebody else is using it doesn't mean that you have to say that the Punisher can't use it anymore.
Right. Change it to appease people that don't know what they're talking about. Like, we got to make this look different now. What's stopping them from putting the new one on? I mean, it's still, I don't know. It's stupid.
I agree. Now I've got the Streamlabs alerts over here, so that next time somebody gives me a super chat, it will show up above my head up here.
Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah, I used to do that in our old videos.
Yeah, and it still would if I was on the screen by myself. Yeah, I when I built this little scene that we're in right now, I forgot to add that in, but it's there now. They still use the main WW2 German image in Japan to mark temples on maps. I love how we have to dance around words to describe images now. Yeah, that's because of YouTube. Thank you, YouTube. We've got an AI bot that runs through everything that you say, and if you say the wrong thing, then we flag your video.
What?
Chilling free speech.
You mean I can't say beep?
Right. That is correct.
Terrible.
But you can dance around it for sure. And I'll tell you, the master of that is Jeremy Hambley. Good Lord, how he does that shit. Red Fox, Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, Andrew Dice Clay, who we were talking about earlier, Sam Kinison, George Carlin would offend all these squishy people now, and that's great. And I was talking about the Amazing Jonathan. All right. So the Amazing Jonathan is a magician, and his magic act is very offensive, and he actually insults everybody in the audience, and anybody that comes up on stage, he usually makes a fool out of. And I think he's dead now, but he was very, very popular in his day and made lots and lots of money, and people always wanted to see his show. But then there were those magicians, most of them amateurs, who thought that they could do Amazing Jonathan's act and had tomatoes thrown at them and got thrown out of theaters, and people hated them because they weren't the Amazing Jonathan. And I think what happens is that these offensive acts can be done by a certain type of entertainer, but they can't be replicated by other types of entertainers or people. Does that make sense?
It does.
The southern states, when they seceded from the Union's battle flag was appropriated by some people who wear sheets. That's correct. That battle flag was not used except in battle, and even then it wasn't seen very often. If you see what the actual flag looked like, it looked very, very similar to the American flag, except it only had 3 stripes, 2 red and 1 white in the middle. And it had a field of blue in the corner with some stars in it. Why did they not use that as their battle flag? Because it looked too much like the one that they were fighting against. And that doesn't help. You have to differentiate yourself from the enemy in battle.
The uniforms weren't that different either. Blue and gray,
Yeah.
In the middle of a firefight, I imagine it's hard to make which one's which and all that smoke. So good luck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everybody point that way. Anyway. Shoot that way. Oh, I think we got him.
And what everybody, the flag that everybody hates was never actually used in the Civil War. The battle flag was actually square.
I can't remember. I wasn't old enough then.
I don't think we should even fucking care anymore. That's why I can't watch Dukes of Hazzard reruns over there on that channel that used to show them. When you watch the Dukes of Hazzard,
unedited, or do they like blur it out now? Like you don't know.
They don't show it at all. They won't show the show at all. Period.
Well, there you go. Now they don't have to blur it out.
But here's and they still sell the model kit car. You know, when you buy the kit, it has all the decals in it, but the picture on the box doesn't have the flag and question on it at all.
They're just the good old boys.
Did you ever watch that show?
Never meaning no. Oh yeah.
When you were a kid, did you think of anything other than this is fun and the Duke Boys are fun to watch and it's fun to watch them getting over on
Boss Hogg is one of the more entertaining villains of all time. He was great to watch. I mean, and then you get the bumbling cop and it was great. You know, you just eat some popcorn and watch stuff and be happy. You don't have to think about all this stupid crap.
I wonder, do these people who constantly have to find fault with everything that there is in the world, do they just stay angry all the time? Are they ever happy?
Well, I think they're just that. I don't know. I don't want to project, but a lot of times here's my take on this. There's a certain kind of people who, if they don't like something, they just don't watch it, don't buy it, don't consume it, don't support it. And then that's how they vote with their wallets. And it's good enough for them that this thing can exist, but I'm not going to pay for it. I'm not going to support it. Now, there's another half of people. Now, they don't think that way. They think, I don't like this thing, therefore you can't like it too, and it needs to go away from existence. It's not enough for me to not support it and not give it my money or my time or my energy. Now it must be gone. And those of you who like it, you must be gone too.
I agree with that. That there are people like that in this world. I don't agree with this with them doing that. No. I agree with what Jonezer just said. There are people like that in this world who, instead of saying, okay, I don't like something, so I'm not going to consume it, or I'm not going to buy it, or I'm not going to support it, and just leave it at that. They're like, I don't like this, therefore no one should be able to have access to it. See, I'm a libertarian, okay? And yes, we're universally hated because there are some things that we allow to exist because nobody else wants it to exist. I go back to civics the way it used to be taught back in the old days. Free speech, especially offensive speech, has to be protected at all costs. In other words, I don't agree with what you have to say, but I will fight so that you can say it. That's why I went and joined the military, okay, for our country to stay like it is. Yeah, you can say whatever you want to. You get to suffer the repercussions of saying that, but I will fight so that you can say it, because offensive speech has to be protected more than speech that everybody loves, because nobody wants to stop speech that everybody loves.
Well, here's the thing. If you can't say something controversial, then nothing can ever change, you know? I mean, you got to be able to say what's on your mind, what you want, unfiltered. You know,
Well,
just
what happens when you decide what can be said and what can't be said? Then what
where do you
happens?
stop?
What happens to the glorious opposition at that point?
Well, where does it stop? Okay, okay, let's say you can't say dummy anymore. Okay. Well, wait a minute. Well, I can't say dummy. Can I still say dork? No, you can't say that either. Okay, what about nerd? Nope, nerd. That's offensive to nerds. Can't say nerd. Okay. Well, what about doo-doo head? Nope, I don't like that either. Well, then what? How far does this go?
It goes this far, Jones. It goes to the point to where you can't have a debate in Congress because there are no more I'd say conservatives and liberals in Congress having a debate, because one side has been eliminated because they can't exist anymore because the speech that they say is offensive. So we've eliminated the glorious opposition altogether. So now we live upon a tyranny. It leads to tyranny. Okay. I don't know who said this, but I love this quote. I'd rather live in dangerous freedom than in the safety of tyranny.
Right.
Who decides what words can't be used? Who watches the Watchmen?
Right.
And that's the point.
Who was the comedian? Was it George Carlin that said all the words you're not supposed to say?
That's the one. And that's why he said it.
That was one of the best. And he just threw them all out there beautifully.
and people who want to stop that, they don't know what that's leading to. It leads right into, tyranny. Basically, thought crime, being put in jail for just thinking a thought.
1984, baby.
1984, baby. Exactly.
It's funny how a lot of people like to talk about that, but most of them have never read it. Don't have a clue what they're talking
read it.
about.
Have you read it?
I know. Yeah, I have it.
There's a movie. The movie don't do it any justice. You have to read that shit.
Got to read it.
Another one along the same lines is V for Vendetta, the comic book.
Yep. The movie's good, but it doesn't do the book justice. Same for what was the one with the Fahrenheit 451, where they were burning the books?
Yes. Fahrenheit 451 was written
Is that
by.
what it was?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember the number.
All right. Here's it's the ignition point of paper.
There you go. I knew there was a reason why.
Yeah. It's the ignition point of paper. It's how hot paper has to be to catch fire. And Bradbury wrote that, Ray Bradbury. And there's a pretty decent movie out there, but the movie doesn't do any justice either. But basically, it's the future where even owning a book or reading a book is a crime. You can't own books. And there are those who do. They're called librarians, and they have houses full of books. And firemen don't put out fires because everything
they
is
start fires.
Yeah, everything in the future is non-flammable. So there's no reason to have people putting out fires. So firemen now go and burn things. They burn things that the government has deemed unworthy to exist, mainly books.
Well, part of that story that got me was his wife, who was so caught up in her fictional world that she was watching her shows on her. I think it was a take on TV where my family, I have to watch my family. And I remember finding that so disturbing because there's people out there who are just so wrapped up on this stuff, that entertainment that we consume, that it's their whole world view. And that was portrayed beautifully in that book.
Well, yeah, and also the fact that the government media spokesperson, the quote unquote news, told the people what to believe, and the people just believed it. What's the name of that movie? Animal Farm. Yeah. All All animals are equal. Some animals are more equal than others, said the pigs. Yeah, that's Animal Farm. Written by George Orwell as well. Another commentary on society. What happens when the pigs finally got into power? Then the pig, like I said, all animals are equal. Some animals are more equal than others. So the pigs moved into the farmer's house and they enjoyed everything the farmer had, but the other animals still had to live out there in the stable.
What was the quote? Power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely, or
all power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely. So whoever ends up with all the power ends up corrupt, lording it over everybody else. And
anybody that's ever played me at Monopoly knows this about me.
I do the same thing when I play Monopoly. I'm the one that makes people throw the game across the room. I'm that one that makes people. I'm not the one throwing the game across the room. I'm the one making you want to throw the damn game across the room.
Yep, I have seen. Once I have unlimited money and resources, I am a horrible person.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's true.
I had a gal in the job course ask if I liked other girls too, and I said no, but I defend to my death her right to be the way she felt. There you go. And that was back when girls liking girls was frowned upon, I would imagine. And
I can't remember a time like that because I grew up in California. And so even in the 80s and the 90s, California be wild, and so it was happening a little more out in the open in my upbringing.
Yeah.
Whereas I finally moved to the Midwest, and then the Midwest caught up to that.
I watched an episode of Storytime with Dutch Mantel the other day. And the question posed to Dutch was, and they had a picture of Pat Patterson on the screen for the thumbnail.
Oh, sure.
What did the other wrestlers think of the what's the word I can use? I'm just going to say gay, okay? If that's a bad word, I'm sorry. It's a bad word. Okay, I apologize.
Isn't it the G in the alphabet soup thing?
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? LBGBT.
There you go. So that's the proper terminology in this. That's the proper terminology in this politically correct world.
Okay, whatever. Anyway, what did the other wrestlers think of the gay wrestlers back in the day? And you know what Dutch Mantel said?
I don't.
He said nobody gave a shit.
Right. It's just like now. Why
same thing? What about black wrestlers? What did the white wrestlers think about it? Nobody gave a shit. We had a program to do and we did it. We wanted to make money.
Right. Dude, I was a boxing fan and boxing enthusiast, would do boxing. Let me tell you the great equalizer. You put a pair of mitts on two people, put them in the middle of that squared circle and make them go bop each other. It ain't going to matter who's from where or who's what or who was born what color or what. It's all going to get figured out in there. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter.
That reminds me of a joke. And of course, this is probably the one that's going to get me finally canceled. Like another friend of mine, I've been trying to get canceled for years. And here we go. All right. So there was two old rednecks, right? And they're riding down through the country. And one said to the other, let's go beat up a FAG. Oh, okay, let's go do that. All right, we'll go do that. So they found one, right? And they went over there and they said, we're gonna get you, and they hit him, pow, and he fell down and he came back up and he goes, the only thing I like better than sucking dick is fighting, and beat the shit out of them.
That's awesome.
What's up, cool dudes? Hey, Zazel, what's happening, man? Good to see you, man. Glad you showed up. My little featured chat quit working here. I don't know why. It just sometimes it works and sometimes it don't. So I can't put you on the screen, but I can say hey to you, Zazel. Glad you showed up. Animal Farm, Susudio, Animal Farm. Yeah, we were talking about that. Some pigs are more equal than some animals are more equal than other animals. That's why the pigs moved into the house and left everybody else to live in the stable. Another commentary on society back in those days. 1984, we're going to control what you think at all times. And we see parallels to that in the world today. And we find that certain people can't say certain things because of that. And it's sad. Here we go. The problem today is that young people don't know anything before the last 10 to 15 years and don't know most of the stuff, and they freak out about it as a non-issue. Well, here's the thing. All right. So there's always been gay characters on television. There's always been black characters in roles on television as far back as I can remember. But what happens today? Oh, this is the first. No, it's not. It's never. This is the first woman to appear in such and such of a role. No, it's not. It's the first one that you know about because you haven't looked back into the things that we watched on television. I'm barely house trained.
Nice. You know, I mean, I don't know. The thing is it's always been a bright, big, wonderful world with such people in it, and it's always been that way. You know, and
that, and the other thing is we don't live in a mutual admiration society. We never have. Some people just are not going to like other people, but because certain people don't like certain other people, does that mean that the people that they don't like have to be done away with? Think about it.
I don't like
thinking
like
live in that world. I don't want to live in that world.
I don't like thinking in absolutes. I don't like thinking like everything has to be 100% this way or 100% that way. I'm a big fan in the, live and let live.
Yeah, well,
like
I said, I'm a libertarian. I think that a lot of things that are very, very, very offensive should exist because without the darkness, you can't appreciate the light.
Correct. I don't know. I guess
I don't know. I think I'm going into an area that we said we weren't going to go into today.
Right.
Look what I got.
Hey, there's Mike Fee.
What's up, Mike? Hello. I was talking about Green Lantern there, the new Green Lantern figure in this one, which I haven't opened up yet, which I probably will on Sunday. So watch my show on Sunday. Watch me open these figures. I was looking at this through the package, and I like his face better than the actual original OG Superpower. Can you believe that, Jonezer?
I never had a Green Lantern. I think I'd seen the Toy Biz one that squirted water when I was a kid, but I never had one. First Green Lantern toy I got was the Jon Stewart one that came out just recently.
Eldor, hey, what's going on, man?
What's up, Eldor?
Here's the thing. When I opened that Green Lantern and that Sinestro over there, or Sinestro as I called him as a child, I am going to also show you the OG Superpowers Green Lantern, and I'm going to show you the Toy Biz Green Lantern, and we're going to see them side by side. But I'm not going to say it's comparison time when I do it.
Oh.
Mike Fee says they made the Howl one finally. What's he talking about?
I do not know.
Everybody's saying hey to each other. We're just over here chatting. It's almost time to go, Joneser, because it's now 12 o'clock, and we said we were going to do 2 hours.
Yeah, that's about what I got in me.
That's about all we ever have in us anymore.
I'd say I'm getting old. I'm just old.
Yeah.
There's no getting about it.
I got news for you, buddy. You ain't seen shit yet until you reach 50. Something broke in me when I turned 50. And it hurts. I Like Salt said he made a fresh pot of coffee. He came in just in time for me to say goodbye to everybody and start playing some Ducks. Hate it, man. Susudio says duck time. Yeah, and yeah. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Radical Mom, for sending that super sticker tonight of $10 Canadian. I appreciate that. I am collecting monies. YouTube paid me about $127 the other day, and that went straight into the savings account. So I'm going to have to figure out how to do that little leader thing where you have the little thing going along, so that it shows how close I am to my goal. Okay, of getting I said about between $1,500 and $2,000 for a new computer system. So I'm now let's just say round it up. I'm $130 toward that if we start with this year fresh. And any monies that I start getting in, anytime I cash out the Patreon money, I'm going to start tallying that and letting you guys know how close I am to it. So yeah. And what's Mike saying here? Green Lantern, Hal
Jordan.
Okay, wow, the damn phone. Yeah, the fat finger. I do that too, man. Let's see. I've got you all beat as far as age and falling apart. Yeah, and you've been sick too. And I think Radical Mom, she might be up there with you. I don't know. I don't know how old you young ladies are, and I don't want you to tell me. So just leave it at that. Anyway, we're gonna wish everybody a good journey, and we're gonna hope that you come back and see us tomorrow night when we go and visit the people,
the Wall Martians
of Walmart. Anyway, we'll see y'all next time on Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures. What about you, Jones? You got anything planned besides for this weekend?
All kinds of things. I guess just to summarize, I have too many things going and never enough time to do all of them.
That sounds awful damn familiar. Hey, we'll see you guys next time on Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures. I'm running credits. Good night.
Special thanks to the channel supporters. Without your help, these adventures would not be possible. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed today's adventure, please hit like, subscribe, and share the video.